outside. The people, the fires.
Shh. Stay close, Calliope.
Mother, I'm scared. Are they coming to get us?
Your father will protect us.
Burn this village! Burn it to the ground!
Daddy? Kratos! No! No, Father, no!
My wife. My child. How? They were left in Sparta. Ares!
That's pretty messed up. You know, it's weird. Calliope was happy to see us when we saw her in Elysium, but from that perspective, it looked like
I
she
can show you the way.
from that perspective, it looked like she had witnessed Kratos kill his wife, her mother, and then he killed her. So it was like
Hurry! I can
Kinda
help
weird.
Kratos.
oh, I see a light. I see a light. Pandora.
Kratos, in the darkness, the fires of hope will set us free.
Well, at least now I can see. I can see some blood again. I guess we're gonna follow this. Follow the trail of blood. I see something. More people. Oops.
You can see the light. It is changing you. It is time to lay your fears to rest. The light reveals the truth. The power of forgiveness comes from within. To be forgiven, you must find the power to forgive yourself.
Maybe Calliope forgave us. I don't know. Hey, look. Are we accepting things? Are we being like, you know what? This happened. And I can't do anything about it. The past is the past and you can never change it. And that looks like when we... Yeah, killed Athena. You gonna do anything here or just keep moving on? Okay, just... I thought we were gonna have to, you know, say something about that. Or learn something about that. Oh no, she's just gonna get up herself. Do I have to go back? I guess. Guess we'll just run back.
Kratos, fear drove Zeus to kill his father Kronos. The same fear that brought the Great War. A fear that drove Zeus to kill you, his own son. Zeus uses fear to keep you in the dark. Confront your demons and lay them to rest.
Over here, Kratos.
Alright. Looks like there's a little light that we can follow now. I guess we're jumping off. Maybe that's kind of symbolic of fear. You know? You're afraid of the unknown.
Others have abandoned me. Now there is.
Look, it's full circle. It's exactly how we started the series.
Remember that day, Spartan?
And how we started God of War 1.
Good luck with that little whore you call Pandora.
You cannot change your destiny, mortal.
I gave you everything.
Please, don't do it, Spartan.
Joy, Spartan.
Today you may defeat me, but in the end, Kratos. In the end, you'll be
Come, I can show you the way.
I wonder if there's gonna be more there. Kind of cut off the dialogue, but
I created you, and I will be your end.
Hurry!
Why won't you die? Die! Tremble in fear.
Kratos!
oh, I just noticed there was a light over here. I don't know if how long that's been there. Whoops.
Hurry, Kratos! Kratos, please. I need you to free me.
Listen to her, Kratos. Once in your pathetic life, don't fail. Don't fail her like you failed your family.
It's all right, Kratos.
This is interesting, actually. I think Kratos is just trying to, you know, accept that things happened. How long are we gonna follow this light for? This is taking a while. Oh, it looks like I see land.
Kratos, you know this is the only way.
Box.
As the fear in the gods rose, mine was replaced by hope.
Power to kill a god.
Oh look, there's something in there.
Hope is what makes us strong. It is why we are here. It is what we fight with when all else is lost.
So there's hope in Pandora's box. I guess hope is what we use to kill a god. Now we can play God of War in first-person view. This is actually kind of weird. You never really think about how Kratos like does his attacks and stuff. You know, how it would look from his perspective. Oh look, he's back. I don't need the blades. I can just kill you myself. Now we're just gonna beat the shit out of Zeus. for all the pain and suffering you've caused me. For all the times you used me. For all the shit you put me through. This is my revenge. Retribution. I think we can keep going for as long as we want. Let's see. What did I get frustrated with? This is for all the balance beams. For all the frustrating boss fights. And all the... Let's see. All the puzzles. Making me kill my family. And... doing your stupid missions. Or... well, actually it was Ares. But you're the one who wanted me to kill Ares. Let's see. Yeah, basically all the pain and suffering that I've gone through. So, I think that's good enough. I think. Alright. Oh look, did I beat him to a pulp? Yeah, pretty much. I'm not gonna sit there for like 20 minutes just beating the shit out of Zeus. You know. Kratos gets his revenge.
Done well, Kratos. Freed from the bondage of Olympus and cleansed in chaos, mankind is now ready to hear my message.
Look around you, Athena. The world stands in ruin. What good is your message?
Go if you must. But first, I insist you give me the power from inside the box.
The box was empty.
That can't be true. I can see it in your eyes. You used my power to kill Zeus. You still have it as we speak. Don't you understand? When Zeus gathered all the evils and placed them in the box, I dreaded what would happen if it was opened again. And so, I summoned the most powerful weapon in the world, and I placed it in the box.
I told you, it was empty. Pandora was sacrificed in vain. She died because of my need for vengeance.
You must be mistaken. You used my power to kill Zeus. I saw you do it. Unless... Of course. When you opened the box, you released the evils to the gods. Infected them. Changed them. Zeus himself fell prey to the dark evils. This is why he became so enraged and obsessed with your death. He was consumed by the evil, fear. I thought the power I placed in the box was never released. All these years, I assumed you drew from the evils inside to destroy Ares. But I was wrong. The power you took from the box is mine. From it, you gained the strength that Zeus could never destroy. A strength great enough to overcome fear. Locked deep inside of you, Kratos. is hope? It has remained buried, trapped by your guilt and the failures of your past. When you killed Zeus, you must have allowed something to awaken it. What was it, Kratos?
Hope is what makes us strong. It is why we are here. It is what we fight with when all else is lost.
What was it, Kratos?
All I remember is what I have lost.
That is why you should give me the power. I understand its true meaning and where it belongs. I trust you to do the right thing, Kratos.
You shouldn't.
You owe me this, Kratos.
I owe you nothing.
I made you a god. I sheltered you from the wrath of Olympus. I delivered you revenge on Zeus.
It is over, Athena.
You would dare strike me down? Again?
My vengeance ends now.
Kratos, no!
Well, let's see what happens here. Oh, I gotta charge it up more. Alright, that was a little weird. Oh. Oh. Damn.
You fool! What have you done? No! That was meant for me! They will not know what to do with it! You disappoint me, Spartan.
Alright, that's the end of God of War 3. So, Kratos killed himself. Well, potentially killed himself. But when he stabbed himself, he saw the beam of light, you know, shoot out of his body. So, that was hope. He released the hope to the people, I think. I don't know, it was a weird, very weird way to end the series, I guess. Athena acting like a kind of childish, kind of like a brat. I don't know. She's like, it's mine. That power is mine. Like, whatever. You've. She's I don't know. She hasn't been the best because constantly like trying to bend the truth a little bit. Using us. He's I can't think of the right word, but taking advantage and just playing us basically. But yeah, it's a weird ending. You know, all the gods are dead, the world is in chaos, and then Kratos ends up killing himself so that I guess hope can return to the people and they can rebuild. Maybe Greece can somehow come back from total destruction. I don't know. I don't even know if anybody survived. Like, are there any Greeks left? after that. I don't know. Maybe the Romans come out of, you know, Rome, and they kind of take over Greece and repopulate and clean everything up, along with the Roman gods, which are basically the Greek gods, just with different names. So, I don't know. I don't know if there's two different, like, Greek and Roman worlds in terms of, like, the gods. Like, are there Greek gods and Roman gods, or are they just one, like, one set of legends? I don't know. But anyway, Athena's mad. Kratos is presumably dead. And the world is in chaos. But hopefully they will rebuild. Or at least Greece is in chaos. But hopefully things will be rebuilt, and we just don't know. Just don't know what's gonna happen with Greece, but yeah, that was pretty much the end of the series for the Greek mythology stuff. So overall, I think the series was a lot of fun. It was an interesting experience. It was a very enjoyable journey to go on. We kind of see how Kratos, you know, kind of messed things up for himself, sold himself to the gods, and then he was betrayed by the gods. And it was all just a journey so that he can get his revenge on the gods of Olympus. And I guess the Titans too at the end of this game. But now we are ready for the new God of War. God of War, it doesn't have any subtitles or numbers or anything. It's just God of War. Just like the old game. It's the same exact title, just different time. So we'll call it like God of War 2018 or the new God of War or something, I don't know. But that I should probably save for after the credits. But yeah. I mean, this game's been out for like 8 years now. I think it came out in 2010. I'm not sure. But yeah, this was supposed to be like the end of the series, and then they kind of were like, hey, you know what? This game did pretty well, so we'll make some other games. And they tried to make Ascension, and that, I guess, didn't do too well. So they're all like, yeah, let's just scrap the whole the Greek era, and we'll move on to something new. So we're going to be moving on to Norse mythology in the next God of War. But yeah, going through the series was a very interesting experience. I did enjoy it. Even though a lot of the games were frustrating, I think there were more fun areas than there were frustrating areas. I really just enjoyed the combat, you know? I mean, that's what God of War is meant to do. It's meant to be a fun, like, hack and slash game, and I think it was. Although there are a lot of like platforming elements which I'm okay with, but I'm not like a really big fan of platformers. I'm not that good at it, and you can definitely tell by all the times I messed up in this series and all the times I've died, and those parts can get a little frustrating. The puzzles, there were a lot of puzzles in this series as well, but for the most part, most of them were pretty understandable, I guess. I don't know, we struggled a bit in like Ascension and God of War 1 with the puzzles because I was still trying to like learn the games, and I don't know if they got easier like later on, in terms of like God of War 2 and 3. They were still a bit of a challenge, but I think they were okay. They weren't like really frustrating puzzles. I think once you do a couple, you kind of understand like what you should do, and you kind of learn you know, what they kind of expect you to do in order to solve some of the puzzles. So yeah, but most of the game was basically hack and slash, you know, beat the shit out of enemies with your blades and maybe throw some magic in there. So I did enjoy the combat, although there were a lot of segments where it was just a lot of enemies thrown at you at once, and those were frustrating as well. Especially in the earlier in the series, in terms of like, okay, hang on. Look at that, Kratos is gone. There's a trail of blood leading to the sea. There you go. So Kratos might not be dead. He's not. Spoiler alert. But yeah, so they kind of left off the series there, just in case they wanted to reboot it later, and they did. And since I have played the new God of War already, I can tell you it is a very well-made game. So I am excited to finally start going through that. Yeah, what was I talking about? Darn it. Freaking lost my train of thought. Might have been talking about... Yeah. I was talking about, like, the battles where there was just, like, a ton of enemies. Some of them were pretty fun. Some of them were frustrating. Towards the end of this game, I actually kind of liked them because I was starting to learn combos better and, you know, just throw constant attacks and just constantly attacking the enemies. It was like I played this game in, what would you call it, chronological order in terms of the story. So we started with Ascension and we ended with God of War 3, but if I was to go the other way, it would be start with God of War 1 and end with Ascension. So like earlier on when I was first playing through the series, like in Ascension, Chains of Olympus, God of War 1, I was having a little bit of trouble with the combat because I had really little experience with I had very little experience with the God of War series. So I had to learn how the combat works and see what works. Congratulations on defeating God of War 3. You have unlocked challenges, chaos mode, costumes, and videos. Alright. So yeah, earlier on in the series, some of the fights were really frustrating just because I was inexperienced, but as we went through, I feel like I improved my skills and the fights got a little bit more enjoyable, and by the end of this game, they were actually pretty fun. And I guess as you go through, you kind of learn, like, enemies do have tells. Like, you can notice when they're going to throw a certain attack and when you should block, and you kind of get used to looking for that type of thing. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that you can have a way to learn to be good at the game, I guess. Even though I don't think I'm that good at the game, but I'm definitely better than when I started. So I really enjoyed going through the series. I just liked learning about what Kratos went through, and like I said, I just really enjoyed the combat. It was a lot of fun. There were a lot of frustrating parts, but I think the fun parts definitely outweigh the frustrating parts. So, yeah. Overall, I think the God of War series is just a very fun, enjoyable experience that can have a little bit of frustration. But you know, Kratos is a frustrated guy. Maybe the game devs just wanted you to feel Kratos' frustration. And yeah, I think that's about it. So if you enjoyed, or if you want to play like God of War 2018, I'd recommend playing through the entire series, but you don't have to. I think at the very least you should play through God of War 2 and God of War 3. I think those are the two best games in the series, and I think they're the most relevant because Ascension, you kind of learn how Kratos breaks his oath, I guess. Chains of Olympus, you kind of learn how Atlas got chained up and why Kratos is responsible for it. And you also kind of see that Kratos will never be with Calliope ever again. Because the end of that game, you kind of have to ditch Calliope in order to save her, so all of that kind of adds into Kratos' anger and need for revenge against the gods. And then God of War 1 is pretty much how Kratos became the God of War. He killed Ares. That's pretty much God of War 1. And then God of War 2 and 3 are basically can be considered one game. I forgot Ghost of Sparta. Ghost of Sparta is basically about Kratos' brother, and you learn about his mother and his brother, so. But that's, I guess that adds to it, I guess, because, you know, you see that Kratos is responsible for his mother's death, and then he loses his brother as well, so you just see a lot of Kratos' like family and people he cares about just end up dying in some way that makes him responsible. So that's basically what like 4 out of the 6 games are about, just why Kratos is so angry. And then God of War 2 and 3 is really when he starts to seek revenge on all of the gods of Olympus. Because God of War 1, it was just, he wants to kill Ares, and that's it. God of War 2 and 3, the rest of the gods are a target. But yeah. God of War 2 was good. It was really good, actually. It was a lot longer than this game, and there were a lot more areas to explore. They sent you to a lot of different areas, which was nice. I like it when games have like a bunch of like different parts to it, and there's a lot of different just areas, a lot of different scenery to look at. Like in God of War 2, you were in like, was it Sparta? I don't remember. You were in a city, one of the Greek cities, and then you were like on this island with a bunch of forest type scenery, and then you were in like temples and just all over the place. God of War 3 was, I think God of War 3 was definitely felt better than God of War 2, mainly because they put it on the PS4 and it looks freaking fantastic. I mean, just look at Kratos' face here, it just looks very good. but we are on the PS4, so PS4 and PS2 are very different in terms of graphics. And God of War 2 had pretty good graphics as well. I think the series in general just has really good graphics. So, but anyway, God of War 3, you were basically like in the underworld, Tartarus, then you were going through Greece as well, and then Mount Olympus. So, I mean, basically everything takes place on Mount Olympus in God of War 3. And you have like 4 or 5 different areas that you went to, I think. And you kind of like backtracked in between all of them quite a bit in this game, so yeah. I don't think God of War 3 was as long as God of War 2. Because God of War 2, I believe it took me 11 hours to beat. This one, will it tell me how much playtime I have? No. I would have to load up a game and see how many challenges are there. Population control. I think I tried to do one of these, like, when I first played, and I was just so bad at it. And I'm like, I'm gonna go back to Modern Warfare 2. Because that's the life of somebody who got addicted to Call of Duty. It's not my proudest moment as a gamer. But you know, I had fun with that game, so. Even though it was frustrating. But you know, a lot of games are just like that. Anyway, I could estimate the time. It was probably like 9 to 10 hours. It was definitely a little bit shorter. And I have no idea how long it took me to beat God of War 1. Yeah, probably around the same time, like 9, 10 hours. But yeah. I would say just, at the very least, play God of War 2 and 3 so that you know, like, what happened for Kratos to leave Greece and end up in Scandinavia. I'm not sure where the new God of War takes place. I know it's like in like the Norway, Sweden area, I think, because that's kind of where Norse mythology originated. I believe. Maybe Iceland. I have no idea. Somewhere over, like, in the north of Europe. I'm pretty sure it's like somewhere near like Norway, Sweden. But I have no idea. So God of War 2 and 3, basically, you can understand what Kratos went through and why he's so distrusting of gods, and why he just hates them. And we will see why that's important in the next game, but I think that's about all I had to say. And so yeah, at the very least, God of War 2 and 3 would be good to play before the new God of War. But I would definitely recommend playing through the entire series so that you get the full experience of what Kratos went through. And if it's your first time ever playing the God of War series, I would recommend going through the way the games were released, because it doesn't really make sense when you go through chronologically if you have never gone through it. You'll see these things that they'll kind of draw references to, like God of War 2 or God of War 1. But if you're playing like Chains of Olympus and you're like, oh hey look, it's Atlas. If you've played God of War 2 before that, you're like, oh, this is why Atlas doesn't like us. But if you haven't played God of War 2, it's just like, okay, we're the ones who chained up Atlas, and then we go to God of War 2, and it's like, I'm angry with you, Kratos, and they're like, oh, you're angry with us because we chained you up. Whereas the other way, it's kind of like a mystery. Like, if you go to God of War 2, and it's like, huh, why doesn't he like us? And then you play Chains of Olympus later. You're like, oh, this is why he doesn't like us. So I think it would just be better to go through the way the games were released. And you'll also see like an improvement in graphics and an improvement in gameplay. And you'll go through the way most people went through the series who enjoy it or who are big fans of it. Because I think most people, or a lot of people, have gone through from the very beginning to the very end. So I would go through the way they were released if you have never played before. And if you have played before, then it's really up to you. It's whatever your preference is. I kind of wish I would have went the way they were released. But, you know, it doesn't really matter. If you go through chronologically, the nice thing is you get to end with God of War 3, which is probably one of the better. I think it's my favorite of the God of War series, so it's a nice note to end on rather than ending on Ascension. So, yeah, other than that, I think I've said about everything that I wanted to say about the series. Oh yeah, one last thing. When I was beating up Zeus, I forgot to say, one of the most frustrating parts was doing that freaking flying segment where I'm trying to like dodge everything. That I forgot about that when I was beating him up. So we also beat him up for that, for making us fly through Mount Olympus multiple times and having frustrating dodging sections. But yeah, overall, the series is very well made. It's a very fun series to go through. Just be a little bit patient and just know that you will get frustrated. So try to, you know, just be like, all right, just gonna. I know it's difficult, but I am up for the challenge, and I will get through this. And that's pretty much how you have to go through this series. So yeah, would definitely recommend playing the entire series, but at the very least play God of War 2 and 3 before the new God of War, that you kind of have an idea of like Kratos' past. So that's gonna be it. It took us a couple of months, but we did it. I think I started like the very end of May, like May 29th or something. I can't remember exactly. But as I'm recording this, it is August 10th. So I kind of messed up. I could have easily gone through this and finished by like the middle of July. But I did take breaks from streaming, and I didn't really have a chance to stream as much as I wanted to. So it did take a lot longer than I expected. But the last couple days I've been doing some pretty long streams. Well, for me, I was doing like 3-4 hour streams, and because of that we were able to get through God of War 3 in 3 sessions. So that's really good. We are now ready to take on God of War 2018. And that is going to be the next game we play. So we're going to be starting that up as soon as we can. And I think that's about it. So, yeah. I hope you all enjoyed the playthrough. And that is going to be about it. So, that is the end of the God of War series for the Greek mythology stuff. And when we return, we will be going through Norse mythology. And I am pretty excited because I did enjoy my first playthrough of that game, and I'm kind of excited to go back and go through it again. So that's gonna be it for this series, or yeah, for the Greek mythology stuff, and hopefully we will start up the new stuff very soon. So thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and hopefully we'll talk to you all later.